shots of Sirach. I'm not talking about that bottle, but I'm talking about the wisdom book that's found in the Bible.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah. We are back. So let's just go ahead and jump into this thing. So, Shots of Sirach, episode 1. Now, I originally did a series on this, but like I said, I'm definitely revisiting some things, updating old videos, revising old videos, and this is just another example of that. So I'm going to be rebuilding out the Shots of Sirach series, and we're going to start out this episode today. In this series, which is a revised version of an old series, we will be looking at the abundance of wisdom contained in Ba HaSefer Sirach, the book of Sirach. Now, it's important that you understand that the word for wisdom is kakma. Kakma. This is Kakma Shalumah, Wisdom of Solomon 7:28 through 30. For Yahuwah loves none but him that dwells with Kakma, wisdom. For she is more beautiful than Hashemash, the sun, and above all the order of stars, being compared with the light, she is found before it. For after this cometh nigh, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. Okay, and the reason why I enjoy books like the Wisdom of Solomon, Proverbs, Sirach, is because these books are filled with wisdom. Even if you're talking about marriages, friendships, your enemies, how to serve the Most High, how to fear the Most High, everything you really need to know about this walk, you can definitely find in Sirach, as well as Proverbs, Psalms, and a lot of these other books. Even when it comes to parenting. So again, the reason why we do these episodes is because I'm trying to entice you to get into the word of the Most High. Let's get it. This is Sirach, chapter 1, verses 4 through 6. Wisdom has been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. The word of Yahuwah, Most High, is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. So wisdom is oftentimes likened to a woman or a female. It doesn't mean the Most High is a female. It's just symbolic language. Just like when you think about Yasharal being referred to as a woman, just like when you think about Yahusha being referred to as the lamb. It's symbolic language, and people oftentimes confuse this with the Ruach being a woman, and I'll eventually get into that at some point, but just not today. The word of Yahuwah, verse 5, the word of Yahuwah Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. Verse 6, to whom has the root of wisdom been revealed, or who has known her wise counsels? This is Sirach 1, 13 through 14, continuing on talking about wisdom. Whoso fears Yahuwah, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor, or kasad, in the day of his death, and he shall find Canaan, favor, in the day of his death. Verse 14, to fear Yahuwah is the beginning of Kakma, wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. Powerful. So the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. You must fear him. This is Sirach 4:28. Strive for the truth until death, and Yahuwah shall fight for you. So we strive for the truth. Like Yahusha, he strived for the truth until death. Death was looking him right in his face, and he still continued to speak the truth. This is how we follow Hamashiach, by following his example. And we are commanded by Yahuwah to strive for the truth until death. So if people feel like I'm going to stop speaking the biblical truth, I'm going to stop talking about who we are, I'm going to stop talking about what the Bible actually says and who Jacob is, never. I'm going to strive for the truth until death, as the scriptures say. Let's keep it going, because it says he will fight for those who strive for the truth until death. Let's keep it going. This is Sirach 15, verse 1. He that fears Yahuwah will do good, will do thub, good. And he that has the knowledge of the law shall obtain her, which is wisdom. Death and Yahuwah shall fight for you. So we should be seeking out knowledge. We should be seeking out wisdom. We should be seeking out understanding. And those things lead up to what is wisdom. Like I said, you can know stuff. You can have understanding of things. But being able to properly apply knowledge and understanding is wisdom. So wisdom is the byproduct of knowledge and understanding. Knowledge da'ath, understanding binah. So da'ath ubinah ukakma. You got to have them all. And that's through the Ruach HaKadosh and fearing the Most High. Let's keep going. Sirach 5:13. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. You know how they always tell you, watch the tongue? There's power, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. This is why you shouldn't just be saying things just randomly without putting thought behind it. So be careful what you say about yourself. Be careful what you say about others, especially if you're bearing false witness. There's life and death in the tongue. And it says here, honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall, which is why I say the scriptures also say, be slow to speak and quick to listen. Let's keep going. Sirach 28 verse 9. A sinful man disquieteth his friends and makes debate among them that be at shalom, that be at peace. It kind of reminds me when I post something that, I'm sharing with Yasharal, and then here come the heathens, here come the Gentiles, or even when I'm doing teachings and people come on here arguing and, trying to cause discord amongst the brethren, especially when we go live on Shabbos, people always got something to say, bro. Causing discord, causing arguments, trying to take away people's shalom. That's what the devil does. That's what the enemy does. Let's keep going. Sirach 6:33. If you love to hear, you shall receive understanding. And if you bow your ear, you shall be wise. So you can see understanding, knowledge, and wisdom are different things. As I said, knowing, knowledge, da'ath, and understanding, binah, is not the same as wisdom, because wisdom is the application of knowing and understanding something. Let's keep going. Sirach 19:24. He that has small understanding and fears Yahuwah is better than one that has much wisdom and transgresses the law of the Most High. Oh boy. This is a very, very powerful verse. You see, a lot of times people look to themselves as being an authority on the scriptures, like, well, I know the law. Oh, you're lawless, so on and so forth. But knowing the law is beautiful. Knowing the ways of Yahuwah is beautiful. But if a person is not coming from a place of humility, right? A person who doesn't know much about the law and the Torah, but they're seeking the Most High, they are considered more upstanding than a person who knows Yahuwah, knows the law, and violates it all the time. Yeah, you could know the law, but it means nothing if your heart is not in the right place and you don't truly fear Yahuwah. Because if you fear Yahuwah, you would not continue to violate his commandments. Just a simple thought. Let's keep going. Sirach 32:17. A sinful man will not be reproved, but finds an excuse according to his will. And we know, especially in the Negro community, a lot of us don't like to hear certain things. We reject reproof. We reject correction. But it says a sinful man will not be reproved, meaning he will not accept correction. And he will find an excuse according to his will. Just like I hear people say that we don't need to keep the law. And what's their excuse? We're in captivity. Even though Yahuwah said this is a perpetual covenant. These feast days are perpetual. It's an eternal Torah. And yet they're saying that we don't need to keep it because we're in captivity, making excuses. Let's keep going. Sirach 18:14. Yahuwah has mercy on them that receive discipline. So if you are humble enough to receive discipline, Yahuwah will have mercy on you. He will show mercy to you if you accept the correction that he gives. And sometimes the correction could come through somebody else. I mean, the difference is being able to discern if it's actual correction from Yahuwah or if it's just somebody being a hater and trying to sow discord amongst the brethren. For example, everybody who tried to come at me and, be upset with me because I believe Yahuwah is Yahusha and I did a whole series on it, they got angry with me. I did a post on it on my own page. I did a post about it. And then somebody came on my page talking about, oh, you're not supposed to be saying that. I didn't know that you believe that. I'm like, homie, you ain't paying attention then. I've been saying this for almost 3 years. How the hell did y'all miss that? In Ezekiel 37, I said it. In my song, Yahuwah is Yahusha, I said it. All of these dang songs I done released and said this, and now y'all acting like y'all didn't know that I was saying this. It just seemed like it just seemed to me like that was just a reason for people to hate on me. They already didn't like me, and they found the perfect way to come for me. But like I said, I don't really care. If a person wants to have a conversation with me about something they disagree with, they need to be able to come with tons and tons of scripture. I'm an individual that comes heavy-handed with scripture. If you ain't coming armed with the word of the Most High, we ain't got nothing to talk about. That's not pride. Because if I'm willing to hear what you have to say, that's not pride. But I do know the scriptures also say with 2 or more witnesses are all matters established. So if I have more witnesses than you give me 5 witnesses from the renewed covenant, and I've got 25, 45, 60 from the renewed covenant, first covenant, and the Apocrypha, there's nothing to discuss. Just saying. Let's keep going. Sirach 6:37. Let your mind be upon the ordinances of Yahuwah and meditate continually in his commandments. Continually. We're to continually meditate on his commandments, his ways, his statutes. Sirach 3:18. The greater you are, the more you humble yourself, and you shall find Canaan favor before Yahuwah. This is why I tell y'all all the time, do not call me teacher. Do not call me anything but Yexer. All right? Please don't call me anything else. I have to keep on putting that out there to keep myself in a humble place. The moment you start giving people titles and stuff like that, then it can get to their head. I know knowledge puffeth up. That's what the scriptures say. That's why, in order for me to be humble and to keep myself knowing what the scriptures say, I'm just asking y'all not to call me anything but Yexer. That's just my name. That's what I am. I'm a vessel of the Most High. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a moray, a murah, whatever you want to call it. I'm none of those things. I'm just a vessel of the highest. That's it. But let me read that again because this is important. Brothers understand this. Sisters that are maybe got YouTube channels, got other sisters they're dealing with. It says, again, let's read it again. The greater you are, the more you humble yourself. Now, what that means is those of us who have platforms, who have a following, you might not think your platform is that big, right? But if you are a known person in this awakening, in this truth, not because it's about you, it's not about us, it's about Yahuwah. You have a responsibility to keep yourself in a humble place. I just see a lot of pride in this walk. I see a lot of people exalting themselves and not exalting Yahuwah, and that's where it can be a dangerous game to play. So always remember, if you are in a position of leadership, you need to keep yourself humble, okay? People tell me all the time I'm not good at taking compliments. It's not that. I appreciate everybody who gives me compliments. I just have to keep myself humble. And how I do that is just saying, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? And I keep it moving. You know, I have to be humble, and it's not me being mean. I appreciate people who love what I do, who appreciate what I do. I know y'all appreciate what I do because y'all show up to my shows. Y'all are in the comment section. Y'all hit the like button. So I know people appreciate me. People message me personally, tell me what I'm doing helps them out and all that. All praises to the Most High. I appreciate y'all. But personally, for me, I have to keep myself in a humble place, which is why, you know what I'm saying, that's how it is. So let's keep going. So humility is a must. if you are in a great position of leadership and authority for the Most High. Let's keep it going. Sirach 7:17, humble your soul greatly, for the vengeance of Harashayim, the wicked, is fire and worms. So we talked about humility, talked about humbling oneself. Well, let's read it again. Humble your soul greatly, for the vengeance of Harashayim, the wicked, is fire and worms. And we read about that in the Apocalypse of Paul. If y'all saw my video on Tartarus and Sheol and all that, we talked about the place of torture in Sheol and how worms will be crawling through your skin, eating your flesh from the inside out. Yeah, scary stuff. Let's keep it going. This is Sirach 20:32. Necessary patience in seeking Yahuwah is better than he that leads his life without a guide. So many people think we don't need the Most High. We don't need Ha'aluah. Bayashara. A lot of people think that we don't need him because, you know, you got witchcraft and you got sages. You over here burning sage to other deities, talking about protection. You got crystals for protection. What about the hands of the highest? What about the Ruach HaKodesh? What about the undefeated eternal Alua? This world is teaching people that they don't need the Most High, and that's the biggest problem with this world. Everybody does not believe they need him. Everybody wants to go about their own way by their own devices. That's the problem with the world today. No fear of Yahuwah, no desire to live for Yahuwah, and definitely no kind of desire to submit yourself to him. And a lot of that has to do with Christianity in general, because Christianity really has tainted the truth. Let's keep it going. Sirach 7:1, do no evil, so shall no harm come unto you. Ooh, this is very telling. So when you do evil to someone, harm can and will come to you, which is why I say, watch how you treat people. Sometimes you see what happens to people and then you wonder why they got in certain situations. Sometimes that is brought on them by the Most High. Yeah, you should pray for people when they're going through it, but you shouldn't rejoice when they're going through it and things of that nature, because you don't know what they did that might have put them in that situation. It could have came from the highest. Just saying. Let's keep it going. Sirach 12:10-11. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him. Beware of him. And you shall be unto him as if you had wiped a looking glass, and you shall know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. So you can understand why I'm so much more guarded about heathens. Doesn't mean I don't accept them. Doesn't mean that I feel like they can't be saved, that they cleave. I'm just saying I'm going to have my guard up about them way more, including my own people. People who've attached themselves to FBA, folks who have attached themselves to us being indigenous, this being the true land. I have my guard up about them too, because I feel like when it comes down to it, I'm hearing Negroes that know they Yasharal talking about, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not leaving America. I'm staying here. This is our land. I have my guard up about them Negroes too. Yeah, they my people, but still, I got my guard up about them. Because the moment you attach yourself to something other than the highest, the moment you attach yourself to this nation, voted for Trump or voted for whoever, you have made a covenant with the enemy. Therefore, you become the enemy. You've joined in allegiance to the enemy. So I'm watching my own people that believe in this, these other organizations, people who are Black Boule, people who are Prince Hall Freemasons. You attach yourself to something other than the highest, then yeah, you are my enemy by extension, even if you're an Israelite. That's just what it is. Doesn't mean I can't pray for you. I can't love you. I'm just going to be watching you. But right here it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And you shall be unto him as if he had wiped a looking glass, and you shall know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. One thing about white people that I've noticed is they're very, very good at playing like they're your friend. They're very, very good at acting like they're standing in solidarity with you, which is why to the Gentiles who are cleaving, I require so much more of you to prove you're really cleaving. Knowing how slippery and slimy your people are and how they stab people in the back. I mean, when it comes to white people, they are the biggest treaty breakers in the whole world. Knowing how your people have a history of treaty breaking, you really gonna have to prove to me I can trust you just because of how your people are. You feel me? Let's keep it going. Sirach 12:16. Speaking about the enemy. An enemy speaks sweetly with his lips, but in his heart, he imagines how to throw you into a pit. So when I see a white person that says that they rock with us and then they get mad and they turn around and use the N-word, that's this. That's this right here. White people saying that they, they're not racist, but they still will use the hard ER. Just like in some of these interracial relationships where a black man could be with a dang white woman, and then she's like, I'm not racist, I'm not racist. And then as soon as y'all have a problem, what's she gonna do? Call the police on you? Yup, white privilege. They are fully aware of the ability and the power dynamic that they have over black people, which is why I don't understand why y'all would go that way anyway. But power dynamic. Sometimes, like I said, these people are very good at playing like they're your friend, and that's not what they are. And some of them can play that role for quite an extended period of time, but then in a moment of rage or anger, it's all exposed. All right, we're almost done. Let's finish this up. Next one, Sirach 27:28. Mockery and reproach are from the proud, but vengeance as a lion shall lie in wait for them. Mockery and reproach are from the proud. Why do the heathens rage and imagine a vain thing? We have become a reproach. They have mocked us. Oh, but vengeance is waiting like a lion. Sirach 4:9. Deliver him that suffers wrong from the hand of the oppressor. Yes, yes, yes. Let's keep going. Sirach 16:13. As his mercy is great, so is his correction also. So the Most High has a lot of mercy, very, very long-suffering, very merciful, but that correction can be just as great as his love and his mercy. I mean, so-called Negroes are the example of that. He loved us. He was merciful enough not to allow the nations to destroy us. But these last 400 years have been the black man's horror story. Now we see things are changing because of his mercy. But that correction was great upon the children of Yasharal. If you think about it, you think about black history, you think about redlining, if you think about Tulsa, Oklahoma, if you think about what they did in slavery, the delectable Negro, how they ate us, the gator bait, all these different things that they've done, this was all an example of that great correction. Now, I'm not saying the Most High put it on their hearts to do these things to us, but the Most High allowed them to do what was purposed in their heart. He didn't move them to do these things. They took it too far because they already had it in their hearts to do this. He just didn't prevent them from doing said things, but they took it too far, which is why they'll be judged. So great is his mercy, but great is his correction. Let's keep it going. Sirach 41:15. The children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of Harashayim, the wicked. So they love to dwell within the place of the wicked. Let's keep going. Sirach 12:6. For Yahuwah hates sinners. All right, let me give you that one more time. Yahuwah hates sinners. He hates them. He hates them. Period. He hates them. I know people, the Christians taught you that the Most High don't hate people. Oh, he does. He clearly hated Esau, but he also hates sinners. Why do you hate Esau? Esau was a sinner. The Edomites are a people that he hates because their nature is wickedness, sin. For Yahuwah hates sinners and will repay vengeance unto Hadashayim, the wicked. Let's keep it going. This is Sirach 36:16. Reward them that wait for you, and let the prophets be found faithful. Sirach 27:22-24. He that winketh with eyes worketh evil, and he that knows him will depart from him. When you are present, he will speak sweetly, and will admire your words. But at the last, he will writhe his mouth and slander your sayings. I have hated many things, but nothing like him. For Yahuwah will hate him. So what is the Most High saying here? He hates a backstabber, a liar, a deceiver. Much like Satan himself is that thing. Much like his children operate in the same dang way. Very deceptive. Very disingenuous. Speaks sweetly, but slandering you and stabbing you in your back behind closed doors. That's why I just have such a problem with fake people. I just do. If I don't like you, I'll tell you to your face. If I'm not rocking with you, I'll tell you straight up. If I lost respect for you, I will tell you straight up. But fakeness bothers the hell out of me. It does. Stop acting like you like me if you don't. Just tell me. And I promise, if I know, I'll avoid you in every way, shape, or form. But the Most High does not like these deceptive tactics. The person who hugs you and calls you Ak, or the sister, right, that loves you and calls you Ak, but then turns around and slanders you. The man that turns around, the sister that turns around and slanders you. He doesn't like that. Let's keep going. We're almost done. We got a few more to go here. Sirach 33:19, give not your son and wife and your brother and friend power over you while you live. Don't give nobody no power over you. You're supposed to submit to the highest, especially, your wife, your brother, your friend. You definitely shouldn't allow no woman to rule over you, especially if you're married. I'm just saying. I mean, that's not no man. Should not allow a woman to rule over you. But that also applies to your son, because you're the head of the household. Your brother, your friend, none of them should have power over you. All right. Last one. Sirach 12:8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. I had to close out with this one because this one is so powerful. So let me explain this one to you. A friend will not be known when you are living perfectly, right? You're doing okay. You're doing all right. Maybe you just got, I don't know, some kind of money, you came up, whatever, however, I don't know, whatever means you're doing a little bit better. The Most High done bless you or whatever the case might be. Those people come around when you have something, right? When you're prospering. But as soon as you're going through adversity, they are nowhere to be found. That's your enemy. The same ones who came around you when you were in prosperity, you thought they were your friends. But then it's revealed that they're actually your enemy when you're going through adversity and they're not there helping you like you might have thought that they would. Powerful. This concludes episode 1. More on the way. Shabbat shalom. All right, and we are going to stop there. Thank you guys again for watching episode 1, and we will be back with the next episode very, 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 very soon. Much love to you all. Shalom.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget you can support this channel by Cash App, $Malkaya Music. Also, be sure to check out the Patreon for uncensored documentaries, films, deep dives, and much more content that you won't find here on YouTube. Check out the merch store for the latest strip. And let me not forget to say, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that like button and tap in with us. All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah, the highest. Shalom.